Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tasha Moss, and I'm here for our debut segment for the Financial Empowerment Center. And I have Callie Matheny.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, viewers, tap in. Let us know that you're here with us. Say good morning to us. Put any questions in the chat that you may have that may come up. And Callie is the director of the CEJA Hub. And CEJA is a workforce development program, and she's going to share all about her program, what fine things they're doing over there, and how the FEC has been helpful in developing her clients for the best outcomes. So welcome, Callie.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about CEJA.
Sure. So CEJA, for those of you who don't know what it is, CEJA stands for the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act. It was signed into law back in 2021 through Governor Pritzker. And basically the concept was we needed to create some kind of clean energy workforce that could help Illinois transition to 100% clean energy by 2050, which is, a hugely lofty goal. 2050 is right around the corner, and so how are we going to get there? How are we going to ensure that we actually meet that goal here in the state of Illinois? So the decision was made that we need to kind of tool up a clean energy workforce. And so funding was allocated for the CEJA Workforce Training Program. Right now, there are 13 workforce hubs throughout the state of Illinois, and luckily there is one here in Aurora, which is very exciting. There will be 4 more that come online this year in the state of Illinois. So Illinois is really kind of putting their money where their mouth is, right? Like we really want to make sure that clean energy is here to stay and that we do provide the funding for people to be trained in these types of jobs. So we're very excited to be here. We started programming back in March. Okay. To say the least, it has taken a village to get us off the ground. So yes, I work for the College of Dupage. But as you are probably likely aware, College of Dupage does not have brick and mortar in the city of Aurora. Yes. So the initial project was really kind of scoped to be a collaborative between all of the Collier County colleges. So we're partnered with Waubonsie Community College, obviously, right in downtown here, but obviously also other locations. But our work has primarily been focused out of the River Street location. We also, believe it or not, are partnered with Harper, Triton. Elgin Community College has been a big player in this as well. Kishwaukee and who am I forgetting? I think that's everyone. Yeah. So those are all the partner community colleges. The idea kind of behind it initially was, we all are doing similar things in the clean energy training space. And Elgin, I call them out because they're actually in the process of building a huge tech center, which will be scheduled to be complete in 2026. And we're looking to partner with them on some solar training. So we're very excited about that. But again, kind of leveraging the best of what the community colleges have to offer rather than reinventing the wheel. Yeah, everyone's kind of got their own piece of it. So that was kind of the initial plan behind it. So yeah, again, kind of going back to how we got started here, so starting back in March, we were very lucky to partner with Quad County Urban League at that moment in time because we were kind of a program without a home at that moment. So we were lucky to be able to not only find space with Quad County, but also then contract with some of their instructors to help us kind of get that program off the ground back in March. So had our first group go through a 10-week program at that time. We graduated 11 people.
Congratulations.
So that was very exciting. And then quickly started looking, for where are we going next? Where's our next program going to be housed out of? Yeah. So we did our next 2 trainings out of Aurora University over the summer, which was great. So shout out to AU for letting us letting us borrow some space. But it was a great place over the summer. Again, it was nice because the timing of it was perfect. Students were off campus. We were able to kind of utilize a lot of classroom space there. Yeah. So we did actually have a classroom there as well as, again, so much of our program is hands-on, which we'll get to in a second.
Yes.
But we were able to also utilize Perry Theater's theater shop for our hands-on programming. So that worked out great. And then, again, going back to our village of people here in Aurora, we are now programming from Prisco Community Center. So that's been great. So yeah, it's been a wild, busy ride. since we started.
I love that you guys found creative ways to develop and deliver this program, and it really speaks to your determination and commitment to the work. So yes, good job.
Thank you.
Good job. So tell us a little bit about the curriculum and the program itself. How long is it? What could you expect to learn? Things like that.
Yeah, thank you for asking. So right now it is 180 hours of programming. So our program runs 7 weeks. We are in the classroom 5 hours a day. So we start at 8:30 in the morning. We wrap up right around 1:30. So many of our students are still either part-time workers or do some kind of flex work on the side. So, it is important that while we want to continue to maintain that, we have kind of a set schedule, we also want to provide our students with the flexibility to continue working, possibly if they need to, outside of the program itself. So it is 180 hours. They will leave our program with 3 certifications. We call it the bridge training. The idea behind the bridge is that we're giving everyone this kind of level set, basic skill set that can transition into clean energy industries, but also other types of work as well. So they will leave our program with OSHA 10 certification, CPR and first aid certification, and then something called NCCER, Core Construction Certification. So NCCER stands for it's acronym soup here, the National Center for Construction and Educational Research.
Okay, that's a mouthful.
So it is. And NCCR is as well. So, either way, it doesn't roll off the tongue. But in that core construction certificate, they're introduced to construction math, hand and power tools, material handling, construction drawings. We also touch on, obviously, basic employability, basic communication skills. So all of those things collectively kind of make up that certificate. It is a industry recognized certificate, but it is also a national organization. So it's a certification you can carry no matter where you live. But again, it is industry recognized, which is great. So, and it is the first piece. So everyone who comes into the program, we do ask that they have all 3 of those certificates before they then move into the next piece of programming.
And what's the next piece of programming? What does that look like? Is that the full 7 weeks, or is that segmented off? Yeah,
so the full 7 weeks is the bridge training, so everyone does that. And once they complete the 7 weeks of bridge training, they have the option. So it's a program of student choice. So if a student chooses to continue on the educational pathway, they can, to learn something we consider more advanced skills. So one option would be perhaps they might want to learn how to be a solar installer. So we have a solar installer training program. So if they've completed the bridge successfully, they can transition nicely into that solar installer program. We have one running right now. It's actually being housed out of Quad County Urban League's classroom. And right now we're also, literally today, it is our day 2 of the solar sales piece of it. So they learn on the front end of the program how to actually install the panels, but also obviously the specifics about the solar industry, like site selection, how to appropriately, make sure that different things about the solar panels themselves, whether you want to do a ground mount, whether you want to do a roof mount, all kinds of safety principles that are specific to the solar industry. So that's kind of on the front end of our program. On the back end of our program, like I said, this is day 2, we have a partnership with Harper Community College, and they're actually teaching the sales piece. So we want to be able to say that our salespeople have been trained in sales, but also, as ethical salespeople, we want to make sure we're instilling in them, the appropriate way to sell solar.
That's important.
So that all by itself is a 9-day piece of our program. So we're really excited to see how that goes, and it's been a nice collaborative with Harper. So and interestingly enough, it is all virtual because our solar sales instructor is actually kind of from the St. Louis area. So everyone is sitting at Quad County in front of their computer for Zoom. So it's kind of an interesting mashup. So we'll be seeing how that all works out. So right now that's solar.
So at the end of the program, are the students connected to employers, or how are their skills marketed after done all this hard work and we have all this great experience? How are we connected to employers?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually have staff, and a shout out to the CEJA staff. Sorry, I didn't do that this morning, but so Becky Barr, who is our transition and recruitment coordinator, she's actually responsible for connecting with employers who are out in the community who are looking to source potential solar folks to help kind of fill their pipeline. So we are actively working on that. So through our program, obviously, our students are then, again, the kind of the process is we do the bridge, then they do the advanced training. So let's, give solar as the example. Once they've wrapped up solar, they have the opportunity to test for the NABCEP PV certificate.
Okay.
So once they've done that and they've achieved that certification, then obviously they're ready to work in the solar world. So that at that point, our staff then work with different employers in the community. We have the opportunity to connect them with a 3-week internship. We call it work-based learning.
Okay.
So at that point in time, the COD student is still a COD student. The benefit to the employer is that we still cover all of the insurance. We still pay that student a stipend, $13 an hour for them to go out into the field and to learn more kind of on a one-on-one basis
Yes.
of how that particular solar installer works in the field, and again, provides them with kind of a different opportunity than classroom work. It then becomes kind of the rubber meets the road, right, where they
Yeah,
have to
the
kind of
hands-on.
actually flex what they've learned out in the field. So to date, we do have 3 students who are working in the solar industry.
Congratulations.
We have one huge success story, and I apologize, it's kind of a long format story, but he was in our first cohort.
Yeah.
He did have a car at the time, but unfortunately, cars are not always super reliable. And at the time, he lived in Calumet City, still lives in Calumet City, and would then take the Metro from Calumet City to Chicago, take the Metro from Chicago to Aurora, grab an Uber, and come to class, and then do it all over again on the way home.
Wow.
So he did that for almost the full 10 weeks of class. That was the bridge training. He then did the same for the solar training, which was 4 weeks long. He has since been promoted 3 times with one of our employer partners, One Earth Solar.
Oh,
So
that is
doing
fantastic.
really well. He actually has visited our classroom a couple times to kind of just, answer any questions about solar, give testimony about, his experience. So it's been a really, really great partnership at this
Yes.
point. And he's just such a superhuman being, and it's been great to feature him as like our success story.
Yes.
So.
Well, it always feels good when you have a program and you have those types of people that hang in there with a commitment, and you can see that all the hard work, dedication, and everything that's been put together
Right.
in human form, walking around and making their dreams and goals come true.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hats
yeah.
off to you guys.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's been
Yes.
really great.
Yes.
So that is one of the trainings. The other few trainings that we do have to offer to a student who might be interested, we're starting something new, actually October 20th. It's called Energy Auditor.
Well, tell us about it.
Yeah, so Energy Auditor is supposed to be really for commercial spaces.
Okay.
So the idea behind it is that, kind of the base core work of the program is based in HVAC. So they do actually have to take some HVAC courses. So all of this will happen on COD's campus starting October 20th, because they will be in our HVAC lab over there, where they will learn 3 different credit classes, one of which is testing and balancing of HVAC systems. So they'll do those 3 classes, but they're doing it in rapid fire kind of format. So while they are based in the credit world, we are not offering credit for them because we're delivering this over a 7-week period.
Okay.
So it's very stacked.
Fast-paced.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds like fast-paced.
Yeah, so they'll be in the classroom 6 hours a day over 7 weeks. They'll do those 3 classes. Additionally, they'll be trained in thermal camera use. So they'll learn how to actually use a thermal camera to read like where a building may be losing some heat or cooling, and how they can better optimize all of those things to kind of realize some cost savings.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a really great project. We're very excited about it. They will then be done before the end of December. We have 9 students who are enrolled in that.
Wow.
So those are folks that have, again, completed the bridge, and then we'll kind of transition into that energy auditor training. So
Now,
very
is the
excited.
whole program, is that a full stipend, or you're only stipend at the 3 months when you're doing the bridge training?
Right. So any time you're in the classroom, you do earn $13 an hour for the
Okay.
learning component. And the idea behind that is that we want to make sure that the students can actually focus on the work at hand.
That's important.
It is a lot of content that we're kind of downloading on people in a short amount of time. And we want to make sure that, obviously they can stay focused on it, and that we're trying to reduce any barriers to anything else that's happening in their world. Just to get into a classroom and be able to focus on kind of that training and then be able to transition into the working world is very meaningful, and we want to make sure that we're providing them with that best possible opportunity.
I like that, setting them up for success.
Yeah, absolutely.
And mitigating those barriers, that's so important.
Yeah.
So tell us about the ideal student. What type of student or person is this program ideal for? What type of mindset does one need to have to be successful in your program?
Thank you for asking that. That's a great question. So the qualifications to be in the program, you have to reside in an equity, justice, or an R3 community. And Aurora happens to be both of those things. Again, depending on a lot of other factors, those are kind of the two biggies. Also, underemployment or unemployment right now certainly qualifies. But also there are some things that were put in the legislation that are also very meaningful. So if you were formerly part of the foster care system in Illinois, that also qualifies you. If you were formerly a displaced energy worker, and I do believe that was put into the legislation because of some downstate Illinois coal plants that were taken offline. They wanted to provide those folks that, that maybe would have been impacted by something like that with the opportunity to kind of transition into a clean energy job. So there are other factors as well. I would definitely encourage anyone who's interested. You can reach out to our friends at Goodwill Industries, who are right here on Route 25. They actually have a storefront office. You can just walk right in and ask some questions and kind of find out a little bit more about eligibility. But those are kind of the big pieces of eligibility. Okay. Really what we're looking for is, people who really want to transition into something new. This industry can be a game changer. Yeah. Clean energy is not something that's just going to go away. It is an industry we've been tooling this up for quite some time. Yes. It's not just something that was, let's start a clean energy industry today.
We're moving quite fast.
Yeah. So it's been there, and we want to continue to kind of feed the interest in it. I think really just people who are interested in doing something really different, really innovative. There is a lot of hard work on the front end, and if you're not afraid of hard work, by all means, we definitely want to see you participate in this program.
Well, speaking of hard work and all the hard work that you have put into this program along with your team, let's talk about partnerships. Yep. I know that you guys partner with the FEC, and that's probably why you and I clicked from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Is because setting people up for success, collaboration, not reinventing the wheel, and not duplicating services were some of the things that we immediately found that we had in common.
Absolutely.
And we formed a very strong partnership right away. And let's speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been, again, kind of going back to, you need your village to make anything happen. And honestly, our partnership with the FEC has been absolutely game-changing. So I'll kind of take a step back to when we first started programming. So it is kind of in our mission to provide some kind of financial literacy or financial education to everyone in the program. Mm-hmm. And again, everyone is in a different phase of that. Right. Not everyone needs the same types of services, and not everyone needs the same type of education. So it is hard in the way of you want to provide people education that is meaningful, but that also maybe it kind of meets them where they're at. Again, everything we do in the CEJA program, as you've probably heard, even with the space, has been a process improvement. So, starting out with our first group, we definitely had a great partnership going on with another financial institution, and they did a great job, came in and did a presentation, which was super helpful, super meaningful. But it still wasn't quite there. It didn't feel right. And so we started talking, I think, probably back in March or April. Yes. And so this planning, it's been in the making for a while. I guess to share with everyone here, we did actually launch our first FEC kind of training back in September, which was absolutely phenomenal. The team has been absolutely amazing and very accommodating. So kind of how it works right now is that during our first aid and CPR session, which is 3.5 hours, FEC comes in and we break the class in half, and we do financial literacy with half of the group, and then the other half does first aid and CPR, and then we swap the following day. So it's a heavy lift. That is a lot of financial education that is being delivered not once but twice. So, and that's kind of our plan, you know, moving forward. So I know that everyone in our class has really been kind of blown away by the amount of content that we were able to deliver. And I know that a lot of our students have connected on the back end as well, which is super meaningful. We want to make sure that we, again, you know, talking about meeting people where they are, depending on what's happening in your world, you may need kind of a regular set schedule with a financial coach. And then maybe you only need to touch base one time. Maybe it's something that you want to talk about in the way of your, like, as an example, financial planning. We do serve a wide range of, you know, ages within our program. We have people who are, you know, 19, and we have people who are in their 70s, and who are looking to kind of switch careers. So, you know, again, depending on where you are in your life, you may want to say, you know, I'm really looking to retire in 10 years, and, you know, how am I going to get there? So, you know, again, depending on where you're at in life, I think it's been a really helpful, meaningful connection for us to have you kind of as the content matter experts, because we are not.
Yes. Well, we love that partnership, and it's one of our proudest collaborations that we have. And that's the beauty of the Financial Empowerment Center. Our services are customizable, and we can integrate seamlessly into other programs. So non-for-profits, community organizations, or any programming that needs some financial component to it, we'd be happy to sit down and talk with you and see how we can find some synergy to integrate into your program to strengthen those outcomes that Callie is talking about.
One other plug I kind of want to put in here is that, you know, so many of our students, I can actually say this, you know, while we're here, 50% of our students do come from the city of Aurora, which is great. And I would love for that number to be significantly higher, obviously. But then, you know, what a nice opportunity for us to sell all of the good things that are happening in Aurora, and also provide services for even some folks who don't reside in Aurora.
Absolutely.
So it really is an excellent community service that you're providing, and you know, again, we're lucky that we can benefit from it. So,
well, we're excited about our partnership, and we're going to grow and continue to work collaboratively together. And what's next? Tell us what's next for your program. How can somebody find you to enroll? Do you have a website that you can share?
Yeah, absolutely. So the easiest way to find us on the website is cod.edu/CEJA, which is CEJA. So we do have some information up there. There is also, if you're interested as a student, you can fill out a form on our page, and then one of our student support specialists would reach out to you and have a conversation just to find out a little bit more about what your interests are, and then also kind of screen for eligibility. So that's an easy way to do it. But like I said, you don't even have to go any further than Goodwill, which is right down here on Route 25. You can walk right into their office. They've got a great staff that's right there and ready to meet with you in person if you wanted to do it that way as well. So plenty of ways to get connected. What's next for us? So it's interesting, we, you know, again, kind of going back to the whole space situation, we will be programming again from Prisco Center for our next class, which is great. We've been working very closely also with the city of Aurora to identify possibly using some space here and renting it from the city. So more to come on that, still working on that little piece of the project, but it's been really nice to have kind of the opportunity to at least have that conversation. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the commercial space hunt. If you're on it, it's not easy. It's very difficult to find commercial space. Yes, and also find commercial space that can function as a classroom, but then also as a hands-on workshop, because you know, we do use power tools. Yesterday we kind of wrapped up our power tools unit, and we build birdhouses. Very simple, easy project, but you do need a table saw. You need all kinds of other power tools.
And you need space.
You need space. So it's always been a fun, interesting challenge. So we're looking to kind of set up shop somewhere a little bit more permanently.
I just love your attitude. You just roll with it, and
right.
It just shows your passion, and I just love that. Your energy has always been so positive and so good, and it's just been a good relationship.
Oh, thank you so much. We try, and you know, it's hard not to be positive when you see some of the really great things that are happening, and the really, really sometimes life-changing outcomes of this program. It's very gratifying. I know that I hopefully speak for everyone involved in it. it's been a kind of a passion project,
Yeah.
and there's a reason behind it.
Yeah.
We're doing good things.
Yeah, and I hope you don't mind me sharing. Callie is so invested in this program. The passion that she's displaying here also resonates in the actions that she takes for her students. She takes it personally, and she had emailed me regarding some resources for a couple of students that were in a bind, and we did everything we can, a couple of back and forth, and just the commitment to going outside of the scope of her role, I just can't speak enough highly. It just really spoke to my heart to see that, like these one-off situations, just trying to remove those barriers so that they can show up to class and be focused the way that your program intends. So
Thank you.
hats off to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that you do for our community. Thank you for the role that you play in your organization, and I wish you continued success.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that.
You're welcome. And viewers, so today, what's next for the FEC? We have our final boot camp at the Quad County Urban League at 6 p.m. The title is Retirement Planning for Business Owners. So we know you don't want to work that business forever. So there has to be a way that you're going to offboard it, retire it, pass it off to a family member. This boot camp is for you. It's the final one. You can come join us virtually or in person at the Quad County Urban League. You can follow us on the FEC website for more details. And we're signing off for today. And thank you for joining us.
Feeling bullied by your bank?
Hey, I got a random overdraft fee.
You've reached our main menu. If you're disputing an overdraft fee, please press 4. Or just hang up and call back tomorrow.
Are you pretending to be a robot?
Goodbye.
Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start banking where you matter. Wintrust. Different approach, better results.
YP